Mhm. Okay, it's going. I think it shows.
All right. Yes, I see it. Here we are.
Good. Mhm.
All right. Awesome. Hello, everyone.
Good. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kavita. Thanks for being here again.
Thank you for having me here. We
Yeah.
are at day 5.
Five, day 5 out of 7 of talking health and wellness and all sorts of awareness. Really.
Yes.
So let's see. Today it's another kind of special day, and I want to bring up something that happened earlier today at work on my day job, because it was a very unexpected thing, and well, it made me, it shook. Is it the right word? Shook, the past of shaken.
Yes. Yes.
It shook
Yes.
my world in a way, and it's interesting because the way it did, it was an event happening, coming from someone else outside of my circle, because of something, a small tweak, something that happened that was a mistake, part technical, part yeah. So it made me feel, in many ways, and as I was telling Kavita just before we came on live, I was feeling sad actually. Sad and vulnerable, and it got me thinking on so many things, and I just wanted to walk out and go home and cry and eat and do all the things, right? So I think, in a way, it's good to bring it here, because let's see, I'm trying to join the dots as I speak. If you feel
Well,
any guidance, Kavita, help me. But
yes,
I think yeah, go.
yeah, I believe here, I love that you're bringing it to the table because you're so loving and transparent and, you're being vulnerable here at the moment. I know you're passionate about what you're doing here in the group and for all of us, so you're choosing to show up here. Um, and you have such a big heart, right? So even though the situations that happened at work, it almost seems illogical and um, because it makes no sense almost, right? Because you're not that kind of person and that kind of thing. Yet it's so beautiful that we all get to be here and to be with you and to witness this and also take a moment to reflect in our own lives and see, well, okay, while we have our health and wellness as our, in our top 5 priorities, for instance,
Guidance.
sometimes when we're facing these kinds of challenges, like if somebody said something to me that is hurt, that seems hurtful, or some
Mm-hmm.
situation outside of me that happened that I feel like I have no control over, and it makes me feel a certain, it evokes a certain kind of emotion, then I go and I eat ice cream like comfort food to deal with my emotions, or I cry and I
That's
put
what I did
myself
actually.
to sleep. Yeah, and all these kinds of things, like I can make that kind of choice, and while it's for the moment, sometimes I also get into the habit, like, oh, maybe the next day I do more of this, like, so I stop in a way caring about myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I start
Which we mentioned on day 3. Exactly, that was the standpoint that day.
yes, yes. And
Yeah.
so the things that you're mentioning about, again, with the pillars, it's, while we have the best of intentions to do this for ourselves, here's a beautiful situation with which we can feel knocked off our center and we can lose the momentum. And then we're like,
Lose
oh, why
track.
bother? Why bother to come back and do it again? It just seems like too much work, too much effort, even though it's a tiny thing. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's also a good space for you to share, Mariana, how you get back into the rhythm of
Mm-hmm.
health and wellness from the 4 pillars, 5 pillars. And also, I know the nudge came up for us to talk about supplements and what that means. So you can also share about that.
Yeah, I love that you're saying, because it was also making me join the dots precisely of the emotions that we have touched, throughout these days, and how emotions really have an impact in the physical. It really it really makes you feel in certain ways when you have this strong feeling or situation, or as any circumstance that is outside of you, right? Something happening with someone, an encounter or whatever, it becomes physical, right? Like the sadness, or the stomach ache, or the chest pain, the tightness, it's all physical, but it's coming from an emotional. And I had all those things today. Actually, I was coming from work and I was feeling a tightness in my chest, and I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm choking, like I was being grabbed from here and here. And it was just because the emotion was not being able to go out, because I was just walking. I couldn't just lose myself in the middle of the street or anything, not like that. But I think that is also super important to become aware, and how it is okay and normal, because it happens to all of us in any circumstance, right? And definitely related to the 5 pillars, because the moment we have a situation like this, it doesn't mean that we are failing. It doesn't mean that the attempts that we were trying, the days prior, to keep an awareness of our health, of our body, is off track suddenly. No, we can go through the thing, and feel for the thing, and acknowledge it, because if we are having a certain feeling, it's okay. We acknowledge it, but we don't stay in it, right? And that's how we come back, in a way. Like, for me, it has been super helpful, come to the house and have my food, my comfort food, and then talking to you. I think surrounding yourself with the right people, the right support, is basic, because when you feel like you are losing track or feeling off track, is most likely your mind sabotaging yourself from your old patterns, from your old way of functioning, conditioning, because the mind has this system, right? Like the computers, they have a system, and we have to keep upgrading it. But the system that we have, in essence, is so strong and so old. So we really need to upgrade it and make it new, right? As we grow, as we evolve. So I think the way to come back to track is to allow yourself to feel the things, but become aware, so you don't get stuck in there for too long, because ignoring them won't help you, but staying there too long won't help you either, right? So
Yeah.
that's go
I
on.
love that point of timing. Like, ignoring it doesn't help you, but staying there too long doesn't help you either. Because, yes,
Mhm.
it's a matter of timing. And this is where many of us slip, right? We linger too long into something, right? It's kind of like the way I like to describe this is when you're getting the nudge to eat, you're hungry. Take that nudge and you eat and you're good. But sometimes
Yeah,
we prolong that nudge and then we're starving, which creates a whole different unpleasant experience. Because if we eat when we're in that state, it also becomes uncomfortable in putting that food in our digestive
yeah.
system, right? And then of course, if we eat at the beginning of the nudge, but then we eat too much, we overeat, it's also
We
a lot
feel
of
bad.
discomfort, right? So
Yeah, too little or too
timing is
much.
yes, timing is also a beautiful part of the game. And again, many of us can make ourselves feel wrong or judge ourselves for that. And maybe the awareness here is to look at yourself and see where it is that I'm trying to delay or not um, seek the clarity I need. Like, obviously, if I don't know the thing, who is the person in my reality who knows about this? Who do I turn to? Who can I have a candid and
Mm-hmm.
honest conversation with? Where is my support system? Because I don't want to be remain in this kind of state. I want the transcendence of this, situation.
Yeah,
So
that it
yeah,
is
that's a
possible, because it is possible. But yeah, we sometimes get in this little spiral sometimes, and we like slide in the mud a little bit, for until we are able to catch ourselves into, no, I don't want to stay in the mud. Why would I stay in the mud forever? Just getting all dirty and yeah. So yeah. And about the supplements that you mentioned, I want to come back to that. Well, actually not back, but just come to that, because I think it's a great thing to bring today on day 5, because we have been talking, about the awareness, about how to learn to observe our bodies, our health, our mind, and then with the 5 pillars, the 5 exercises of the 5 basic things that we can observe, which were, sleep, hydration, food, movement, physical activity, right? um, that is everything that we can do, to help our body, to help our well-being. And that's why I love the supplement theme for today, because after a few days of everybody watching, you have been turning in, having this look into yourself, and it's perfect. And then we can add these tips or these ideas where we can bring some other stuff from the outside, which are natural, because sometimes the body needs a little help like that is just like a boost, right? It's not cheating, not at all. And it's not pills like drugs either. It's just a boost to help us, gain more balance and stability with our hormone system, our neurological system, our sleep. When sometimes we travel, we do these time zone difference, and then we need to take melatonin, for example, for 2 or 3 days, to compensate for the time zone difference, so we can be able to sleep properly, to catch up on sleep. So I think it's really important to bring the supplements, in this case, which is, whether it be vitamins, whether it be related, natural fiber related to constipation, so many things. But in the understanding that is, a help and a boost to the routine that you are doing and building for yourself, as long while you are observing and learning how your body works. All right.
Yep, I
Let's see.
absolutely love that.
Mhm.
So, for those of you watching, are you using any supplements, and why did you choose that, make
Mhm.
that choice, kind of thing? I'd love to hear
Yeah.
from you. And Mariana, can you share about your own supplements and share from your personal experience? What do you enjoy as
Yeah.
supplements for yourself?
Sure. I really love, well, anything related to vitamin C, because it really helps to boost the immune system. So I every morning I take a little bit of warm water, not super hot, but warm, like little warm water, with a little bit of lemon, before anything else, and that really kind of wakes up the digestive tract, and it cleans, and it allows the body to just, the same way we put the alarm clock to wake up the brain when we need to wake up. So the hot water lemon is like the alarm clock for the insides. Yeah. So I love doing that, especially because the lemon is it makes your body alkaline, and that really really helps everybody. We all want to go for alkaline, medium inside our body, which is another super interesting topic that we can touch another time. So that one is one that I really love. I take, sometimes, small, it's a powder that I got from my country, because some friends of my mom, they make this product, and it's for digestive tract, because that has been like my main issue. So I try to keep, proper track of my digestive tract. So I take these, and it's like a yeast in a way. It keeps everything really clean. It's like, um basically clean, yeah. And it boosts the immune system, because as long as everything inside goes clean and properly and daily normally, the immune system goes up. It doesn't deplete, instead it enhances. So I use that as well. I There are times when I use it daily, sometimes I don't use it daily, sometimes I forget, but then I keep coming back to it. And that is really helpful for me. Mostly those two. Sometimes I like taking, herbal teas, herbal night tea for, better sleep. Sometimes it really are, like today maybe I have been a little bit sensitive and vulnerable, like I was sharing. So probably maybe tonight I will take a tea. Just, some people say no, this doesn't do anything to you. Well, it depends. To me, they relax me. It's just a herbal tea, and that's pretty much it. I don't use much more than that. Occasionally a melatonin for travels when I go visit my family, in particular that is transatlantic kind of flight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I was grinning because I also use the lemon and water. So
I love it. It's great.
my
Yeah, it's so hypnotic.
um my thing, I realized that I've been wrestling a little bit back and forth in my mind is the timing of the lemon and water. So usually I also have a powder supplement that I use, and sometimes I question myself, like, which one should I do first? Should I do the lemon and water first and then the powder
Always
supplement?
first, lemon water. I would say always first, and actually always first, and leave a half hour before you take anything else after that.
Yeah. So sometimes I realize that that was a thought that crossed my mind that I never voiced out aloud. And I'm sharing this again as an example for everybody catching this video, um, because sometimes it can be those tiny little things. And in that moment, we don't do anything about it. And then it goes away out of our awareness. And here it is that we can ask, like we can ask somebody who knows to just be like, hey, I want your take on this. And even if,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so say for instance, now I listen to Mariana and I find some other weird thing happens. I'd be like, okay, so I did this, but I also see this. And so I might be giving her more information or more factors that she hasn't considered
Mm-hmm.
or isn't aware of because I wasn't aware of it at the time I was telling her. And then the
Exactly.
answer can be fine tuned even more for my specific requirements, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
I
there's so
absolutely love that.
many options. Mm. So many options out there. I just remembered two stories from friends lately, and I feel like I want to share them because there is this friend who's going through a particular personal situation, and I got a message the other day sharing and saying I'm going through this, I'm feeling this way, and I was just being supportive, right? Because she's my best friend, one of my best friends, and and I realized that I started asking about supplements. Are you taking something? Are you sleeping well? Are you drinking water? And she was like answering, no, not much. Maybe not. No, I'm not sleeping very well. So I thought, okay, let's see. Well, because she is in a different country, and I was like, okay, let's see what you can get in your country. I would suggest you take this because when you're going through this, you're probably because of the sleep, everything is, trying. Your body's trying to catch up, and it's delayed, and so you need to give it a little help. So I recommended her a little bit of yeah, emotional balance kind of substance, which is natural. Magnesium is used a lot, even in winter time in many countries. People take magnesium, like gummy bears, because it really helps balance when there is a lack of light, of sunlight. So I checked for her, and she was super grateful, and she bought it right away, and she started taking it right away. It was all natural. I made sure it was a product and a brand that I trusted. I just wanted to make sure that she could get it in her country, right? And it worked. And then she started taking it, and it's getting better in the span of a few days, right? And it's just a matter of sharing. I think even in that vulnerability that we were talking about before, there's so much power, because then she was able to get help to get this fix that would add to her routine to make her or allow her feel better in the middle of her problem, right? And her current problem. And it was only because she opened up to share, right? And I feel like that is so so powerful, and we all go through that, and we all needed that support to be able to get help even like this, in this
Yes,
sense.
yes. I'm glad you said it that way too, because a thought crossed my mind last evening, and it's coming back to my awareness now,
Mm-hmm.
where I realized that sometimes in us having our doctor or whoever is our healthcare practitioner, and sharing whatever concerns we have with our bodies and things like that, there is an element of guilt of, oh, I'm not taking care of myself. Here I am now putting it on you to sort it out for me. There's an element of shame of, I shouldn't have this in the first place, and here I am, and I'm so
Yeah.
embarrassed or ashamed about it. And so sometimes we might be with our doctors, but what we really want to do is to run and hide because we don't want to deal with the discomfort of the feelings that come up in our doctor
Yeah.
checking and see what's happening.
And
And
telling us
how
the truth that we don't want to hear.
that, yes, exactly. And how cool it is to have a doctor who will tell you the truth no matter what, and also be there to hold that, space for you to feel supported and loved and
Yeah.
nourished, knowing that the doctor is also saying, and you don't have to have this condition. It doesn't need to be this way. We can resolve it together, you know? And that's such a beautiful role that you play, Mariana. So
Thank
it's
you.
really amazing. So, yes, everyone watching, if you want to take the time to have that kind of support in your healthcare system, I'm sure, because this is a global thing. Obviously, Mariana wouldn't be the one to check on all of your things. You will have a physical doctor here wherever you are,
Yeah.
but definitely to have that doctor in between those physical general checkups to help you get better so you can.
Tie things together as well.
Right. And to be more on the scale of wellness rather than illness, right?
I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know what happens so frequently in the system in general, that when you have an issue, you go to one doctor, then another, then another. Eventually they don't talk to each other. You're just going to three different doctors, but they don't communicate, and so you are the one who has all the things in common. You are the common thing between those three doctors, but they are not communicating, and there's so much information that they could share, and they could see a lot more, like a broader image, uh, in just one talk. But the system doesn't work like that, and it's a shame. So in a way, we have to do that. We have to learn, like, I don't know, doctors like me, or in other instances, doing this this tying up of the context, because it can bring the awareness for the people,
Right.
so they can actually just find a relief, because most of the times people feel lost, and they feel hopeless, because no one is giving a proper answer, and it's
Mhm.
exhausting.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
such a powerful point. So I'm glad that you're bringing it to the table. So I want to say what Lois says. She
Hi,
says,
Luis.
I also use therapeutic grade lemon essential oil. It's easy to take along and to put in the hot
Essential
water.
oils.
Yes. So
Yeah,
do you want to
essential oils
mention
are
about that?
great.
Yeah.
I haven't used them a lot personally, but I know that I know they really work, because people around me have used it a lot. Especially, for kids, for sleep, for headaches, for migraines that we were talking yesterday. There's plenty, and for a fact, they give certain chemical reactions, in a way,
Mhm.
in a natural way, that is the ailment, whatever it is. Yeah, it would be interesting to hear more, Luis, if what has been your experience with the essential oils, what exactly for, or something, because I really don't have as much experience really
Mhm.
with those myself. So it's a good
Mm.
thing to look into. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. So she has been using it to, instead of having to squeeze the fresh lemon into the warm water in the morning, she's using the essential oil for that. And so
Okay.
for any of you who are using essential oils as part of supplementing your health and wellness, please go ahead and share why you've made that choice. We can.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lois says I use peppermint for migraines and
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
basil for lungs and breathing. Yes.
Basil. Okay. I have
So
heard a lot
mhm,
about joint pain, arthritis also as well, like a lot of, I don't know exactly which one, if it related to the mint or peppermint also as well. Can't remember right now, but
eucalyptus.
it would be good to look into that.
Awesome. So you can
Mhm.
find what the answer is and you can bring it back to the group Mariana and share it
Yeah.
here. I'd also love for you to share, even though it's from your country, you mentioned something about using for your digestive tract. Again, it's to bring awareness. So maybe if somebody's experiencing that, they get to see what you're looking at and what you're using, and then they get to broaden their awareness of, well, what does that look like in my country, wherever I am at? And this is something that they can also start a conversation with you about and be like, okay, so I saw these two options. What do you think? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and what should I really look for in these things? And
Mm-hmm.
that would be a beautiful conversation to start with you. Um, so again, for some of you, I believe the point here today is if you're not suffering from something and there's an illness, but you want to get better in your wellness, right? There's room for improvement. And here it is, you can bring the things that you're currently using, your current routine, and say, okay, Mariana, this is what I've been doing. These are why I made the
Mm-hmm.
choices. This is what influenced me. And then you, Mariana, get to scan it and be like, okay, that's interesting. But wait a minute, in this thing here, I don't believe that it's any longer needed, or if it's maybe there's a better
A better
quality product.
option.
Yes, those
Mm-hmm.
kinds of
Mm-hmm.
fine tuning. So
Yeah.
beautiful conversations to have. I love the stage that you've created here,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we got to do this and talk more about going deeper tomorrow. Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think that's perfect. That's
All
really
right.
good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kavita,
Thank
as
you.
always.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. See you tomorrow, everybody.